You're listening to The Simplified CEO, the podcast that shows you business does not have to be complicated. So grab a coffee, get comfy, and let's show you how you can get success in every area of your life the simpler way.
Just before we jump into today's episode, I have to give today's sponsor a shout out. Now, you know, here on Simplified CEO, we are all about the simple life in business. And I know one of the main areas every entrepreneur wishes was simpler was the bookkeeping. Well, it can be with today's sponsor, Xero. This is an accounting software I have used for years, and honestly, it's made it so easy for me to keep a track of everything. It automates manual tasks, meaning I'm not losing hours to admin, and it can be done from anywhere using their fantastic mobile app. So if you're looking for a simpler way to keep on top of your bookkeeping, go and check out Xero today using the link in the show notes below for a special offer. Now let's get back to today's episode.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of The Simplified CEO. Today I am sharing the secrets of how you can be successful without the mum guilt. And I know this is one that gets so many of us, and it's hard, right? Because we try to be everything to everybody and it's just feels impossible. So today I'm going to share the tactics that I have used so I feel enough as a mother, enough as a wife, enough as an entrepreneur. I can step into that CEO role in my business, but still feel like I'm a present mum and I'm doing enough in every area of my life. Because let's be honest, we try to juggle so many things or like 24 hours a day. And I don't know about you, but my mind never stops. Like, honestly, it is just an absolute jumble in there of to-do lists and memories and things I need to remember and things I need to make sure that they've got for school tomorrow. And have I done the packed lunch and all of these things that are going on. And it's such a jumble between personal life and business life. And as a CEO, as an entrepreneur, I find it impossible to stop thinking about work in some capacity. So it's thinking up new ideas for services and offerings that I can provide while I'm having a shower or while I'm helping my daughter brush her teeth. I'm thinking about the emails that I need to send. My brain, I cannot compartmentalize my brain to say, well, now is not the time to think about work. If I do that, it just stresses me out. And alongside being stressed, I could lose some of my most incredible ideas for the business because my ideas, the best ones, come to me at the most inconvenient times. Like I said, like when I'm having a shower and I don't have a pen and paper because I'm in the shower. So I have to make sure I've got a way of making a note of that idea. Or while I'm down the park with my daughter or driving to swimming lessons or whatever it is, the ideas always come to me at the most inconvenient time. And I used to put a lot of pressure on myself and feel guilt about thinking about work and running through work to do lists in my mind when I was with my family because I was trying to be 100% a fully present mum at certain times of the day, or a fully present wife and friend, or a fully present 100% locked in entrepreneur at other times. And I found that by trying to separate myself and trying to then find this balance, oh, that word, it's so unrealistic because what that actually, if you think about what balance means, it's you're trying to balance two separate entities. So it's looking at yourself and your life as two completely separate areas. You've got your personal life and your business life. And by trying to find a balance between them, they're always competing for your energy and your attention. They're butting heads constantly and they're fighting for your attention. And that isn't a way to live. Constantly have that stress and anxiety over, I have to switch off that part of my brain now because now I'm in mum mode. Or I cannot think about what my daughter needs tomorrow because I'm in business mode. It didn't work for me. And I just don't think it's realistic for any working parent to be able to completely switch off from each area of their life. And that's when I realized that you need intentional integration. We need to stop separating or attempting to separate these two parts of our brain and of our personality and of our life. If we remove the barrier between the two areas and let them flow and entwine with each other in a healthy, boundary fueled way, that is where success can grow without the mum guilt. And today I'm going to share how I made that happen for me, how I got that intentional integration, and how I blended every part of my personality and my life together to create this beautiful harmony where there isn't any guilt, whether it's mum guilt, entrepreneur guilt, there is no guilt. I give what I have at the time to what I'm doing, and nobody feels neglected. I don't have any stress or anxiety about things that I should be doing. Again, such a hateful word, should. And I'll explain why it works as well. So, the very first thing is to get to know yourself and your energy. Because in the beginning, when I first went into the entrepreneurial space, I was determined that I would only work between school hours. And that lasted for many years in business. I was like, do the school drop off in the mornings. I'd come home. I'd give myself 20 minutes to sit down in a quiet house with a cup of tea. Oh, heaven. And then I would get on with my work until I had to leave to do the pickup. And what I found is actually as I got older and started listening to my body more, my energy fluctuates hugely through the day. And most of the times by like mid afternoon, I'm really flat. But I would tell myself that you have to push through. This is your work time. If you were employed, you wouldn't have the opportunity to step away. So I tried to still work like I was an employee. And by doing so, what happened? I became an employee of my business. And it just wasn't giving my best to my business because I was trying to force myself into tasks that I didn't have the energy for. So, the first thing you need to do is just actually understand yourself, understand your ebbs and flows, when you are most powerfully aligned with certain tasks in business and when you're not. And then listen to yourself and actually take action that you need to. If you are the most creative at 5 a.m. in the morning when everyone else is still asleep, great. Take action on that. Don't feel guilty for working in the morning. Write your content then, get whatever you need out at 5 a.m. in the morning. And then when your children and your husband or whoever wakes up, you've alleviated some of that potential guilt that you might have felt previously because you've taken what you had in your mind and you've actioned it. So it's no longer there niggling at you like, oh, I could be, I should be, maybe I could. You've done it. You've taken that action. You then can be present for your family through breakfast time, getting ready for the day, giving whatever you need to at that point to them before you then recharge and you go for the next thing. But looking at your tasks and figuring out what tasks take the most energy, where you need to be physically and mentally to handle that task is so important. I could never come up with my best copy and create my content at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday afternoon. I am so flat at that point in the day. I've gone like all guns ho in the morning and I've sort of run out of steam at that point in the day. So I need to do gentler tasks that don't take a lot of brain space and energy. And that's what I need to do at that point in the day. And by learning that, I've then built my schedule around, okay, but I know actually that first thing in the morning, I'm always super excited to get back to my desk and get cracking. So I can take on some of those chunkier, more intense tasks first thing in the morning. And it also means that I then do the school runs in the afternoons completely guilt free because I know I'm not at my best energy wise for the business at that point in the day anyway. So I allow myself that time to recharge with my daughter, hear about her school day, find out what's happened, get the lowdown, have that after school snack with her, get any homework done that's needed, and just be present in that moment. And I have zero guilt as an entrepreneur that I'm not working because I've given everything I could to the business earlier in the day. It's about relinquishing the control over your brain space because guilt comes from being physically present but mentally absent. So if you have tried to ignore the call to do some creating some copy or take action on an amazing idea that you've had, and that's going around in your head, but you're trying to sit there and focus on time with your family, that's where the guilt is going to come in because you are not feeling like you are being 100% present parent because you're not, because your brain is elsewhere. So by giving yourself that time earlier in the day or just saying, you know what, I just need to go and take 5 minutes now, but be open about it. Never sneak off because, again, that's acting guiltily and that's building that guilt feeling inside you. If you have a client proposal that you need to finish on a Saturday afternoon, instead of sneaking off to your office and feeling guilty, sit at the kitchen table and say, Mummy's working on something really exciting for 45 minutes. I'm helping another business owner build their dream just like I built mine. Why don't you come and do some drawing next to me? Instead of hiding your work from your children or feeling guilty when they see you on your laptop, intentionally show them what you're building and why it matters. It's important for them to understand what you're doing at work and why you're doing it. So, being open and honest with it, again, removes the guilt. You're still spending time with them, but they're understanding that you are doing something important in that moment. And I'm not saying do this all Saturday and all Sunday every weekend. Of course, that's not what we're looking for here. It's about finding if there's something really important that if you didn't take action on, it would just sit in your mind and niggle away at you and take you away. You know, those moments where you find you're staring off into space and you're not really present because your mind is elsewhere. That's what happens when you don't take action. So instead of allowing that to happen for that whole afternoon, just say to your family, this is super exciting and something I really need to go and do. This is why, and this is why it matters. It's going to be 45 minutes, and then I'll come back and then we can go for a walk or go to the park or whatever it is that you want to do. But just by being clear and open and honest, it removes the guilt. It shows the importance of hard work, which is a good lesson for your family to learn, right? And it shows you taking action and it's clearing the mind, which is so important. And remember, this is not about you choosing business over them. Building something meaningful looks like, which is amazing for them to see. And there's so many other times through the week that we feel like we have to be 100% present, but actually the child doesn't even know if you are or not. For instance, when I used to spend hours sitting watching my daughter in all her different lessons and classes, whether it is a swimming lesson or her gymnastics class, and I'd sit there and I would either be very diligently watching her every second of the lesson, and she would never look up at me once. She wouldn't care if I was there or not, but I felt like I needed to be watching her all the time with my mind on other things. Or I would sit there blindlessly scrolling through social media, just wasting that time. And then I realized that actually this is a really easy swap to make and a really easy way to get that intentional integration between the two. I would be present, I would be there with her for her gymnastics class, but I would just scroll through and clear out my inbox while I was there. I would constantly look up and make sure I wasn't missing anything. I'd make sure that she could see that I was still there and I'm being present. But it doesn't mean that I can't do some small actions at the same time. So answering some client emails or clearing out that inbox. While I was walking home from the school run, I'd voice record some social media ideas or some content strategy. I was still taking action. It was through another method because I wasn't sitting at my desk. Or putting on a business podcast while I'm driving between all of these lessons that she does, or while I'm cooking dinner. There's ways that you can fit it into everyday tasks. It doesn't take you fully away from them, but it also doesn't fill you with guilt on either side. So I hope that helps you understand that you can have both. You can have success without the mum guilt. And it's very simple. Stop trying to separate the two areas of your life. Stop trying to find that elusive balance that doesn't exist because they're not two areas that need to be separated and constantly fighting for your attention. You are a whole. You are an entrepreneur, you are a mum, a wife, a friend. You are all of these things all of the time. So, by building some intentional integration and allowing them to flow in between and being open and transparent about that fact to your children and to your family and friends, it's a really powerful thing because remember, guilt comes when you are physically present, but mentally absent. So stop trying to limit your mental capacity and limit what your mind wanders to, because it's impossible. We don't have that control, right? Our minds are amazing beasts that they go off to wherever they think is important at that time. So allow it to flow, but just have ways to handle it if the moment isn't convenient. I have honestly an endless list on notes on my phone when I've had a great idea for a piece of content while I'm out and about with my family. Just write the idea down. But taking that action and writing it down takes it out of my brain. It's no longer taking up space in my brain. I'm no longer feeling guilty over not being able to take action. It's there. I can come to it at another point when it's more suitable for me. So it's just about finding these little tweaks. But remember, there is zero guilt here. You are fully entitled to be a successful entrepreneur and a successful, amazing mum. You can have it both. So stop layering yourself in guilt, trying to separate these two parts of your life and allow them to live together in beautiful harmony as much as they possibly can. Look after yourself, pay attention to your energy levels, make sure that you have enough energy across the board for every area of your life. And I promise you, you will breathe easier when you lay back down at night to go back to sleep and you can assess your day knowing that there's been zero guilt because there's been no pulling and tugging at different areas of you. So, if you know of another working mum, another hustling entrepreneur that would benefit from hearing from this, please share this episode with them. I would love to hear what your biggest takeaway was. And please don't forget to give it a like, give me a follow so you never miss another episode. And I will catch you all next week. Have a great week.
I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you are ready to make your life simpler, then don't forget to check out today's sponsor, Xero, the accounting software that is ready to supercharge your business by automating routine tasks, giving you quick access to your financial data, and helping you get paid up to twice as fast using their online invoice payments. So if you are ready for a simpler way to keep on top of your bookkeeping, go check out Xero today. Get their special offer using the link in the show notes below.